Okay, the next one that you guys are going to do after you finish that magic 8-ball is going to be a number guessing game. So we're going to go ahead and start at GitHub. We're going to create a new repository. Number guessing. Number guessing game. We go ahead and create it. We copy the link. We go to Get Kraken. We're going to go to clone. We want to clone to our CP1 projects. So we want to make sure that we're at CP1 projects, and we're going to paste, and it's going to go to number guessing. We can double check that. Yep. Okay, so we clone it, we want to open it, we want to initialize it, and we have our new project. Now we got to go to Get IntelliJ. We're going to go to File, New, Project. Keeping on Java, we're going to hit Next. We're not going to be using the template. Project name is going to be Number Guessing Game. And we need to make sure that we're finding that right folder that was already created, which is there. This is in your Z drive. We want to do this window. All right, so now we have a project, and we're going to want to create. So again, you'd have to go to source, and you have to start building using public static void main. Okay, now let's discuss what the number guessing game is going to be. Okay. The user is going to give an input. The user is going to give an integer input. You are going to have already assigned, the program will have already picked a number. Okay? Now, what the user is doing, he's guessing a number, and you are going to do all. You're going to have to design this, and then we're going to end up doing it a little bit more efficiently with other code. But basically, the user is going to guess. So you're going to say something like, give me a number between 1 and 100. The user is going to say 50. If your number was 30, you're going to say, oh, you are too high. Okay? And then you're going to say guess again. Tell if too high or low. And then he's going to guess again another number. And so he's going to do it many, many times until he gets the number. When he gets the number, then you are going to let him know that he is right. Okay, so in order to do this, you're going to need a little piece of code that we need to be able to implement a random number generator. So let's just call this number guessing. All right, so we know that we have to put that public static void main in. Nope, we don't want to track with get. Public static void main string args. Code goes here. Okay, so in order to have a random number, so I have an int, and let's say this is my picked number. Okay, when I go to initialize it, so picked number is going to equal math dot random right here, random and I want it to be an int. So I'm going to say an int. So if I have this printing, so system.out.println, just you're not going to end up wanting to show them what the number is. But while you're debugging your game, you're going to want to see what your number is when you're playing. You don't want it reassigned all the time. You only want it assigned at the very start of the game and to stay that way. So we will probably have to modify and see what number it gives us. And this is where you might want to start reading the documentation. It gives us 0, but if I hover here and I hit Control and F1, Control F1, it says math.random, cast to int is always rounded down to 0. Report any calls math random which are immediately cast to int, casting a double between 0 and 1 exclusive. Okay, so it's a double that has basically it's like giving you a percentage from 0% to 100%, but it's using from 0 to 1. Okay, so when we use this, we need to multiply it up to make sure before we're going to cast it to an int. Okay, so we want to do this. We're going to put this inside parentheses, and we're going to say times 100 because we want to have part of that decimal in there. That's now going to be multiplied by 100. So if it was 0.2, then we times that, then we're going to get 20. If it was 0.02, so you'd want to test to make sure that that's running. I'm still loading, so. All right, so now we got where it's generating. Let's go ahead and generate it again. Should be faster. $17, $46. All right, so the little piece of code is we're using that math library. We're picking a random number. Remember, it's a double that's originally coming out. That's between 0 and 1, so 0.0 to 1.0. And we're multiplying it by 100. We're putting that all in parentheses to cast it as an integer value and then storing it as a picked number. Then we can use that to check for equality using our relational operators to determine if they're too high or too low or if they got it, and letting them play the game. Okay? All right, have fun.